Hello and welcome to MIM Movies. I'm Elon.
I'm Mindy.
And we are a married couple with very, very different interests, but we meet in the middle when it comes to movies. And today we did one of our favorite things. We went and did a double feature. The first film we talk about on our other video, The Brutalist. You can check that out. But this is for the other movie we saw on our double feature, Better Man, starring Robbie Williams. It's a biopic about himself where he's voicing himself, but he is being portrayed by a CGI monkey. It is directed by Michael Gracie, who also did The Greatest Showman, one of the biggest crowd-pleasing films in the last 25 years.
Good
and yeah. And what were your thoughts on this one, Mindy?
Okay, so when I first saw the previews to this, I didn't realize who Robbie Williams was. He's a really big pop star in the UK, not so much in the US, and unfortunately that's turning a lot of people in the US off from seeing it, but it shouldn't. Elon will go into more about that later. Anyway, when I first saw the previews, I thought, okay, this is kind of weird. There's a CGI monkey, but it looks like we're putting that biopic format on it. It's for a reason. I promise. It's really, really cool. They get into it in the movie. You kind of get some answers as to why he's being portrayed by a CGI monkey, and it's awesome. I thought that was really well done. It was purposeful. I promise that'll make sense as you go along. And that kind of segues into, there was so much symbolism in this movie. So a lot of what you're seeing isn't literal. It's very symbolic, very visually, like this is what's going on in his mind, or this is what's going on in his life kind of thing. And that was also so clear and purposeful. A lot of, when they use that device in other films, sometimes it's a little out there, a little artsy, a little interpretive, like, I don't know where to go with this or what they're doing. This was so clear and purposeful, I thought, and that was powerful. So a lot of amazing, beautiful visually, and very exciting. The music was really well timed as well. So another thing, if you're not a big fan of musicals, because this one's not just a biopic where you're hearing him sing on the stage or something. It is a musical. There's like music that'll spontaneously happen in life in this story. And so if you're not a big fan of that, because I know that can be kind of weird for some people, I will tell you there too, they did it really well. They had that kind of reason behind it, right? So in a musical, the general rule is you're not supposed to break into song unless you're in a moment of heightened emotion where speaking doesn't do the trick. You have to express it in music. That's sort of the, underlying, like a good musical is going to follow that rule. They followed it to a T. There was no just like gratuitous, we're just doing a showy thing right now. It all had a purpose. So that was something I was really impressed by in this film. Robbie Williams did a great job with his own voice acting. Yes. And super huge shout out as well to the mocap actor. I feel like we don't give them enough attention. And especially getting close to awards season, that's kind of where my brain goes. Like, he deserves awards attention for this.
John O. Davies was his name.
Yeah, really incredible job. And the animators, oh my gosh, the details. And you don't feel like that weird, what was it called? The
Uncanny Valley.
Uncanny Valley, where like we had that era of CGI, and sometimes it still happens where you watch it and you're like, this is like real but not, and that is so weird. It was beautiful.
I think the best way that was described was in that Chip and Dale movie where said everything looked real but nothing looked right.
Yes, yeah. Everything looked real but nothing looked right. You're watching these CGI faces like something feels off and I'm creeped out. No, it was very well animated, very beautiful. So, what were your thoughts?
My thoughts were, well, number one, let me kind of preface this by saying I love the biopics. Bohemian Rhapsody was one of my favorite movies in the last 20 years. I also really liked Elvis. So I'm a sucker for these biopics. So if it's a biopic, we're probably going to see it because of me. I didn't know who Robbie Williams was at all. Did not hear the name. I just remember we were at a theater to see another movie and this trailer came up and I was like, this looks interesting. So it's been on my mind for a while, and as I've done more research about the film, I realized it was a biopic, much like you were talking about a real person. So I hoped it would hit for me as someone who has no idea who he is, and from this, I guess you could say, stereotypical American perspective, never heard any of the songs that were mentioned that were played in this film, and it hit. Also, he's a pop star. He makes no mistakes about it. He's not a rock star. He's a pop star. And it is pop music that is featured. I'm not a big pop music fan, so but I still enjoyed the film nonetheless. I thought some of the songwriting, the first song they played was very, very touching, and it kind of got my ears kind of perked up a little bit. Okay, like this is something that I think is going to be worth paying attention to. One thing I really liked was, I mean, obviously Robbie Williams is doing his playing himself, so he's involved in the production in this. I would imagine he's a producer of some sort. I don't know for sure, but I would imagine he had something to do with what
actual input in the how they carry the movie
in the content, what was there, what wasn't. He does not shy away from some of the dark stuff that he went through and some of the mistakes he made, like we all make in our lives. He makes some big mistakes in this film. Yeah. And I think it's called Better Man because I think he's trying to learn to become a better man by making up for those mistakes.
Yeah, can I interject with that too? Like a lot of biopics, it's about, oh, let's watch this person's rise to stardom, how they got famous, and just, you know, a little picture of their life. But what was cool about this was it was actually just a movie about a man and his like growth and change as a person,
just happens
told
to be
in the form of a biopic. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that level of humanity and connection in it for me was just, it took it a cut above a lot of other biopics.
The other thing, and I didn't write this down in the notes, it just came to me. Fighting his demons is a big theme of this film, and how he feels threatened by them, and how the voices are in his head, not in like a psychotic way, but you know, all of us have those voices, that imposter syndrome, so to speak. All of us has that, and the way they portray him handling those, I thought was absolutely spot on. Yeah. Because he tries to go about it one way, and for a while it works, and then they come back, and then he finds out you have to handle your troubles a certain way in order for them to be resolved and for you to accept who you really are. I thought that was a really touching way to handle that. Yeah. Again, shouldn't have flopped here. And it's in the news a lot about
and it's not flopping in the UK, by the way. It's just here.
Yeah. And it's been in the news a lot as the first flop of 2025. That is a shame.
Guys, trust us.
Go check this movie out.
It's so good.
Go check this movie out. If you are okay with rated R content, because this is a rated R movie. It's not it's not gratuitous anything. It's just a lot of language. Really, the language is the thing that goes up. But again, go on IMDb, look up the parental advisory, because we may have forgotten something.
We're desensitized probably, so check for yourself.
The other thing that I was really, really impressed by, if this film is not in the conversation for best editing in the Oscars, which I should check the long list to find out if it's on there, it should be. Because the editing in this film is jaw-dropping as someone who does like basic film editing for my job. It is jaw-dropping some of the stuff they pulled off, because we're not talking about editing as in going from one room to the street or something like that. We're talking about going in a car at full speed into like all this transitioning into underwater type stuff. Like it is
very symbolic kind of.
Very and the director nailed this. I'm sorry, I can't give Michael Gracie enough credit. The way they put this thing together was absolutely jaw-dropping. You and I were buzzing coming out of the theater.
Yeah. It was like, did you notice this?
That
was so cool.
We actually talked about it, and had we seen it in 2024, it would have been in both of us. It would have been in the top 5 in our favorite films of 2024. Yeah. Let's see, what else I got? Yeah, again, it's a really creative and really, really well done film, and I thought it surprised me. I was expecting to have fun. I was not expecting what we got from this. I thought it was very, very good.
Yeah, interesting that the level of humanity in this one was better than so many other films, and yet the main character was technically not human. He was portrayed by a monkey.
That's a good point.
Just goes to show they can really make you connect, you know? However, if they're good storytellers, they'll make you connect to it.
So in a thumbs up, thumbs down world, it is 2 up. It was really, really good. So go check it out. This this movie deserves to be seen, whether it's put out by Paramount, so eventually it'll be on Paramount Plus, probably not in the too distant future considering what's going on with it financially.
I'd say they'll give it some theater love. It needs it.
Yeah, go check it out whenever you get a chance. But yeah, that is our review of Better Man. Yep. Next week, we are going to be putting out 2 videos. I think 2 videos a week is what our goal is. We're going to put out a video with our thoughts and reactions on the Oscar nominations. Those are being announced on Thursday, since this is the first time we've really seen most of the contenders.
Yeah.
So that'll be kind of,
Every year we're like, we got to get better at that.
So that'll be kind of fun. So we'll put that video out, and then we are going to go see Flight Risk, directed by Mel Gibson, of course. Mel Gibson, starring Mark Wahlberg. It's going to be, that looks like just a good old-fashioned tense action thriller.
I'm not gonna lie, it does. I have my own thoughts about Mel Gibson, but it looks well
It's
done.
gonna be fun. So stay tuned to the channel for that. Also, Mindy's been working very, very hard on our Instagram and our Facebook. So if you're on any of those platforms, find us at Meet in the Middle Movies, correct?
Yep.
And that's gonna do it for this one. Again, Better Man, get out and see this movie. It was so good.
So good.
I'm Elon.
I'm Mindy.
And we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.